Depression and anxiety is a huge problem in Australia. 1 in 3 people suffer with depression and anxiety, and we have the largest rates of teen suicide in the world. A lot of people come to the clinic suffering with other symptoms associated with depression and anxiety, yet aren't able to see the connection. They're suffering with fatigue, they're suffering with energy issues, waking up in the morning, energy that lasts only till lunchtime or mid-afternoon, irritability, anger, stress, not coping with family situations or work levels, and oftentimes that's the underlying cause to or leading to depression and anxiety. A lot of these conditions are caused by nutritional deficiencies. Intense stress has an impact on people's lives. People will go through a period of time in their lives where they'll take on too much, they'll be exposed to too much responsibility, or they're in a difficult situation that can just be too draining on their emotion. That will, in the long run, deplete them from nutrients, which will have a major impact on their ability to make their own brain neurotransmitters at the level that they need to. That will deplete very quickly and can have a big impact on how they feel every day. When serotonin is deficient, some of the symptoms that you feel is irritability, anger, sadness, weepiness. You can crave sugar, crave carbohydrates, crave alcohol, so we can have an alcoholism problem based on low serotonin. One of the unique feelings that you'll have with low serotonin is sound sensitivity, so people get annoyed by hearing a dripping tap or someone chewing in their ear, or different noises in the background can upset them, and that can be a real telltale sign that you've got a low serotonin problem. Dopamine is another brain neurotransmitter that a lot of people have problems with, and it often comes about following a serotonin problem, but it may also happen without being associated. Dopamine will cause you to feel exhausted and tired, wake up tired, unmotivated, like you want to lay in bed all day or get under the doona and watch movies all day. Can make it really hard for you to get to the gym and get exercising and all of the things that you used to do. Can make it really hard to socialise, so it can have a major impact on your physical energy, your emotional energy, your mental energy, so your focus at work can be diminished as well. And dopamine can deplete because of lack of sleep, as well as reactions to food, as well as malabsorption issues, which mean that you don't have the nutrients to make the dopamine. It'll also have an impact on your hormones. Dopamine is associated with your hormone production, and you can have reproductive problems come about because of this long-term fatigue that can come about. So low serotonin, which is your depressive type neurotransmitter, not the only one, but when it's depleted, it can have an impact on sleep, and then when sleep is depleted, it will then impact your dopamine. There's many brain chemicals that affect our mental health. A lot of people present in so many different ways, such as GABA, which is a brain neurotransmitter that is very calming. And when you're deficient in GABA, you can be rushing around all day stressing, you can be very wired until the end of the day and have a great deal of difficulty falling asleep and staying asleep. So you wake up tired every day, but you're highly stressed every day as well. So the day just continues exactly the same way as the day before, and you never get full rest. That will then deplete other brain neurotransmitters. You've also got acetylcholine, which puts you in that fight and flight stress response and takes you out of the ability to be calm, to digest well, to relax, to be able to socialise and be happy. What it will mean is that you'll always be in that intensely stressed state, which will also deplete your body of nutrients because it shuts down digestion. The brain and the gut are closely connected because our gut is where most of our brain neurotransmitters are produced. A lot of our brain neurotransmitters are made by certain bacteria, such as E. coli, which is responsible for producing certain amino acids that are necessary for serotonin, dopamine, and a whole range of other brain chemicals. A lot of people don't understand that 90% of serotonin is used in the gut, where only 10% of serotonin is used in the brain for mood. So we have a situation where if we don't look after our gut, if we don't have our nutrient absorption correct, if we're eating foods that we're intolerant to that causes an inflammatory response in the gut, if we're carrying certain bacteria that deplete our good bacteria, and those bacteria in themselves can cause mental health symptoms such as overwhelming sense of stress, irritability, depression and sadness and anxiety. All of these things can play a major part in our production of brain chemicals and our hormones. So our hormones can also deplete if our gut isn't functioning properly. And our hormones also have a major impact on how we feel and our mood. What we do differently is have a look at the biochemistry of the body. We start from the beginning and we move through in a systematic way and make sure that every single part of your production of brain neurotransmitters and hormones is functioning correctly, as well as looking at the other end of the scale and seeing that you're not using up your brain chemicals and your hormones too quickly, which can happen under intense stress. So your manufacturing ability and your depletion. So if we can fill the gap in between and correct all of the little steps that are involved in this production and get our bodies functioning the way that they should as the genius factory that your body actually is, and improving its capacity to its optimum level, we can resolve so many incidences of depression, anxiety, removing those emotions that are associated with even suicidal tendencies, which can be associated with not only brain neurotransmitter levels, but hormones, which can have a major impact on those emotions that can be so serious. Treating these conditions naturally and removing antidepressants or reducing antidepressants is possible for many people. However, it needs to be done in such a way that we're able to utilize the benefits of every modality associated with helping with mental health. So we need our emotional support through our counselling and our psychology. We also need our medical support for those people in such serious situations where it's affecting their life dramatically and their ability to function through work and with their families. However, while you're supporting these issues this way, we also want to be repairing the damage that's happened underneath and replacing all of the body's function to be able to get their bodies making all of their hormones and their chemicals properly back to a normal level, so that you can work towards removing those medications over time with the help of your doctor, and so that the behavioural cognitive therapy or NLP or whatever it is that your psychological or emotional support practitioners are helping you with can actually be functional. Because if you see practitioners and you're working from an emotional perspective, which is absolutely necessary, but you don't have the underlying brain neurotransmitters to be able to sustain the benefits that you receive from those therapies, you continue to drop and you won't ever sustain those levels unless you put the whole package together and correct everything in one go.